Hi and welcome back to Penguin's View. Now, a little while ago, I did a video about my new car, and in it there is a hands-free device, and I stated that I personally believe that even using a hands-free device in a car is not a good idea. In fact, I think I went as far as to say that it was dangerous. Now, I've had some people give me feedback to say that I'm wrong, that I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, red rag to a bull, anybody? So, I looked into some of these things about being either under the influence or what they class as distracted driving. Now, these surveys that I have looked into, most of them are American. One or two was British. But I thought that the information that they gave was fairly interesting, at least to me, and I thought I would like to share this with you. Yeah, I'm so good like that. Okay, what I got to say, one of the distractions they talked about was that it's a distraction to use your car's mirrors. Yeah, so that means that all driving instructors across the world have been teaching us bad habits from day one. No, you need to use your rear view mirrors and wing mirrors. I don't care what anybody says, I find them very important to use. So there we are. So they normally say that the standard driver reaction time is said to be around about 1 second. This is as normal. This is not under the influence, this is not distracted, none of that. So, here are a few to grab your attention, as it were. So the first one, driving at the legal limit of alcohol. Now, this was an American one, so I don't know what the difference is between the American legal limit, Thailand, the British, don't know. But they're saying that it reduces your reaction time by 13%. And that's if you're still legal. Naturally, if you're over the top of that, it's much worse. Anyway, if you're high on dope, weed, yeah, probably demonetised for this right away, it's 21%. If you are using hands-free, now this was the one that I particularly wanted to see. If you use hands-free, it reduces your reaction time by 27%. Double that of the legal limit of alcohol. Frankly, I find that shocking. We're talking pretty much double the alcohol with 6% more than being high on weed. It's just ridiculous. But here's some other ones. Now, we all know that using a mobile phone is like a bad idea. If you are texting while driving, that reduces your reaction time by 37%. If you are normal speaking on the mobile, I would use mine, but I'm filming on it, so that's sort of not possible. If you're talking normally on your mobile, that's 46% 8%. Anyway, here we go. Now, here's some other things. Now, these are what people claim to do while they're driving. Again, this was an American survey. So, eating and drinking while driving is 63% of people. Reading messages on telephones, 28% of people, which is quite a lot. Now, another thing they look at is drowsiness while driving. Now, they found that there's three age groups, and depending on the age group you're in, you're more likely or less likely to drive while drowsy. So if you are 18 to 29, you are 71% likely to drive while drowsy. 30 to 64, you're 52% likely to drive while drowsy, and 65 plus, 19% drowsy. So, old people tend to stay awake. Yeah, can't sleep in it, so I'm going for a drive. But there we are. According to a GHSA survey, again I believe that's an American one, lack of sleep acts like alcohol concentration. So 24 hours without sleep is like 0.1% alcohol in the blood. How that actually relates to the alcohol limit level, I don't know. But basically, if you're tired, you shouldn't be driving. And as I've said in past, drink, don't drive. Drive, don't drink. Simple. None of this, you can have so much. No. None is the limit. None. Zero. So, as we know, or you might know, Android phones outsell iPhones by about 4 to 1. Now, some people say, well, that's because there's more Android phones on the market, for which I have to fully agree. But this might make you think. A 2019 Zebra study in America. Now, I know it's not exactly up to date, but it still has relevance. They talk about distracted driving by operating system. So of those that do texting while driving, 51% will be Apple iPhone users, 35% Android. Talking on your telephone, 33% iPhone, 23% Android. Looking at social media while you're driving, I struggle to do it when I'm sitting in an armchair. Age thing, I think. 27% for iPhone, 13% for Android. Watching videos. Oh, come on. What, are you doing it as a dare? 10% for iPhone, 6% for Android. Streaming TV shows. 8% for iPhone, 4% for Android. So although Android outsells, it seems that Android users, for some reason or another, don't use their phone as often while driving. Okay, so I'm no saint. I have done a couple of these. Okay, and I know the effects that it had on me. I want us all to be safer while we're driving in our cars, not just for ourselves, for our passengers, but for people in other vehicles or pedestrians around us. So think about it. Do everybody a favour, and this is including yourself. Don't drink and drive. Don't do weed and drive. If you want to, just don't drive. Simple as that. And try not to drive distracted as well, because it's just really no good for anybody. Imagine how you would feel if a loved one of yours was injured or, God forbid, killed by somebody who was either over the limit, or severely distracted. How would you feel? Pretty bad, obviously. So when you think about doing these things, the drinking, the distractions, think about how you would feel if something happened to a loved one of yours. And I'm sure at that point you just would not do it. Sorry if this has come across as like a bit of a lecture. It's not meant to. It's meant to be informative. So please, stay safe out there. Stay safe while driving. TTFN.